Welcome back to Coins Tool. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1970 D Lincoln 1-cent coin, a small yet historically significant piece of American currency that has captured the attention of collectors all over the world. You might think it's just an ordinary penny, but what if I told you that some of these coins are worth a surprising amount of money? Yes, you heard that right. Some rare 1970 D Lincoln pennies have been sold for as much as $88,999 in today's coin market, and the reasons behind their value are truly fascinating. The 1970 D Lincoln cent was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest and most productive mints in the United States. That year, the United States was transitioning through a period of economic and political change, and even small coins like the Lincoln cent reflected the evolving story of the nation. The design of the penny still featured the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse side of the coin displayed the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, beautifully depicted the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and even included a tiny representation of Lincoln's statue inside the memorial, a detail visible under magnification. Now, the 1970 D penny was made primarily of copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Each coin weighed about 3.11 grams, and the Denver Mint produced over 2.8 billion of these pennies. With such a high mintage, you might wonder, how can one of these coins possibly be worth tens of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and minting errors. Collectors pay special attention to coins that are in mint state or uncirculated condition, meaning they were never used in everyday transactions and retain their original luster. If you happen to find a 1970 D Lincoln penny in pristine, untouched condition, especially one graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But the real excitement comes from those rare varieties and errors that make certain coins truly unique. One of the most famous varieties linked to the 1970 pennies involves the 1970s small date and large date varieties. Although those were minted in San Francisco, collectors often search for striking differences or errors among all 1970 issues, including the Denver Mint coins. Some 1970 D pennies have been found with strong die errors, doubling on the obverse lettering, or misaligned strikes that make them stand out as highly collectible pieces. A well-preserved error penny from this year can bring serious money to the right buyer. Auction records show that rare examples of the 1970 D penny have sold for thousands of dollars, and high-grade coins with full red luster can reach incredible prices. The most exceptional examples have been sold for up to $88,999, especially when verified by professional coin graders and sold at top coin auctions. Imagine holding such a small piece of copper that carries a price tag higher than a luxury car. That's the magic of coin collecting. That if you ever come across a 1970 D Lincoln penny, take a moment to examine it carefully. Check for the mint mark just below the date on the obverse side. A clear and well-struck D mint mark indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. Look at the details in Lincoln's hair, the sharpness of the lettering, and the overall color of the coin. Coins graded as red, RD, tend to hold higher value than brown, BN, or red-brown, RB, tones. The color and preservation can make a massive difference in value. It's also worth knowing that many coins lose their collector value if they are scratched, cleaned, or damaged, so handling your coin properly is essential. If you believe your 1970 D penny might be valuable, avoid cleaning it yourself and consider getting it professionally graded. A small investment in authentication can lead to a significant return if the coin proves to be rare or in high grade. For collectors and coin enthusiasts, the 1970 D Lincoln cent is a symbol of how something so small can hold so much history and value. Each coin tells a story, from the craftsmanship of the mint to the hands it has passed through over the decades. Even though billions were minted, finding a high-quality specimen today is becoming increasingly rare, making it a desirable coin for those building a complete Lincoln cent collection. In the world of coin collecting, every detail matters. The 1970 D penny reminds us to look closely at even the most ordinary coins because sometimes, the rarest treasures are hiding in plain sight. If you happen to find one in your change, don't spend it, study it. You could be holding a coin worth far more than just 1 cent, possibly one that could fetch $88,999 in the current collector market. We explore the hidden value of old coins that you might just have sitting in your pocket change or coin jar right now. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins from the early 1970s, the 1971 D Lincoln 1-cent coin from the United States of America. This little brown penny might look ordinary at first glance, but its history, minting details, and potential collector value make it one of the most interesting coins to ever come out of the Denver Mint. Some rare examples of this 1971 D penny have been sold for unbelievable prices, with one recently valued at an astonishing $75,999 in today's market. So stay tuned as we uncover everything you need to know about the 1971 D Lincoln cent, from its history and design to the special varieties and errors that make some of these coins worth a fortune. Let's start with the background. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the front or obverse of the coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right with the word liberty to his left and the national motto "In God We Trust" above his head. Below the portrait, you'll find the year of mintage, in this case 1971, followed by the small letter D mint mark just below the date, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The reverse side of the coin, which was still using the classic Lincoln Memorial design in 1971, shows the beautifully detailed memorial building located in Washington, D.C. If you look closely, you can actually see a tiny image of the seated Lincoln statue inside the memorial. Above the memorial, you'll find the words United States of America and the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Below the memorial is the denomination, 1 cent. The reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo and remained on U.S. pennies from 1959 until 2008. Now let's talk about the composition and mintage. The 1971 D Lincoln penny is made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. During that year, the Denver Mint produced a huge number of these coins, over 2.9 billion pieces were struck in total. Because of this large mintage, most 1971 D pennies are considered common and can still be found in circulation today. However, as with many coins, it's the rare errors, varieties, and high-grade examples that hold the real value. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is finding coins that were struck with mistakes. The 1971 D penny has several known varieties and errors that make certain examples incredibly valuable. Among the most sought after are the double die obverse varieties, where parts of the lettering such as Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date show clear signs of doubling under magnification. These double dies were caused by a misalignment during the die creation process, making them a favorite among collectors. Another valuable type to look out for is off-center strikes, where the coin was not properly centered during minting. Depending on the degree of the error, an off-center 1971 D penny can be worth from a few dollars up to hundreds, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. There are also examples of 1971 D pennies struck on wrong planchets, such as those meant for dimes or foreign coins, which can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition. Condition is one of the most important factors that determines a coin's value. Collectors and grading companies such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins based on their grade, which ranges from heavily worn circulated coins to perfect mint state specimens. Most 1971 D pennies you'll find in circulation are. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and collectible coins in U.S. history, the 1977 Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny you see in your change, but some of these coins are worth a small fortune, with one rare example reaching an unbelievable current market value of $68,999. Yes, you heard that right, almost $69,000 for a single 1-cent coin. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the story, the history, and the incredible value of the 1977 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin features the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner, a sculptor whose initials VDB were originally placed on the reverse but later removed and then reinstated in later years. The 1977 penny continued this rich tradition, being struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a small D mark, and San Francisco with an S mark, used mainly for proof coins. In 1977, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of these pennies, making them seem common. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 4.4 billion coins, while the Denver Mint added over 4.2 billion more. The San Francisco Mint created about 3 million proof coins for collectors. However, what makes some 1977 pennies incredibly valuable are specific rare features, errors, and minting varieties that occurred during production. These small differences can transform a simple 1-cent coin into a collector's dream worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Let's start with the basics. The 1977 Lincoln penny was struck in a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gives it that beautiful reddish-brown shine. Each coin weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. But the true value of a coin depends heavily on its condition, rarity, and unique mint errors. Collectors often look for uncirculated or mint state 1977 pennies graded by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. A standard uncirculated 1977 penny can fetch anywhere from a few dollars up to a few $100s depending on its grade. But when you find one in pristine condition with a bright luster, full original color, and no scratches or wear, the value climbs dramatically. Now, here's where things get exciting. Some rare error 1977 pennies have sold for jaw-dropping amounts at auctions. There are examples of double die obverse errors, where Lincoln's portrait, the date, or the words, "In God We Trust," appear slightly doubled due to a striking mistake at the mint. These double die errors are extremely desirable among collectors, and depending on how visible the doubling is, these coins can be worth thousands of dollars. Another major factor that can boost a 1977 penny's value is its condition and the color tone. Professional coin graders categorize Lincoln cents by color as brown, red-brown, or full red. The full red coins, especially those that have been well preserved since minting and never circulated, bring the highest prices at auction. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are another highlight. These coins were struck using polished dies and planchets, giving them a mirror-like shine and sharper details. A perfect condition proof 1977 S penny graded PR70 by PCGS or NGC could easily bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars from serious collectors, but the real headline comes from a few 1977 Lincoln pennies that have fetched astonishing prices due to their perfect preservation and extremely rare minting anomalies. Some coins with off-center strikes, die cracks, or other unique features have caught the attention of high-end collectors and auction houses. These rare examples have reached record-breaking values, with one extraordinary piece valued at $68,999 in the current market. This incredible coin stands as a reminder that even the smallest details can make a huge difference in coin collecting. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1977 penny? First, check the coin's mint mark under a magnifying glass. A sharp D or S can help identify the mint location. Next, inspect both sides carefully for any doubling, cracks, or unusual designs. Look for coins that have a bright red color and no visible wear. Even small imperfections can affect value, so handle your coin gently and consider sending it to a professional grading service for authentication. It's also important to remember that coin values fluctuate with the market. Collectors' interest, the price of copper, and auction trends all influence a coin's worth. But one thing is certain, the 1977 Lincoln 1-cent penny remains a beloved piece of American history and a shining symbol of the beauty of small treasures that hold big value. If you're a coin collector or even just curious about the change in your pocket, it's always worth taking a second look at those old pennies. You never know, the 1977 penny you're holding might just be one of those rare and valuable ones worth tens of thousands of dollars. So next time you find a 1977 penny, don't overlook it. Give it a close examination, and you might uncover a hidden gem that could change your life. A simple 1-cent coin with a story worth over $68,000, That's the magic of numismatics, the art and passion of coin collecting. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in American history, the 1982 1-cent Lincoln penny coin, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but could actually be worth a surprising amount of money, even reaching up to $60,999 in the current market. So make sure you watch this video till the very end, because you might have one of these valuable coins sitting right in your pocket or coin jar. Let's start with a little bit of history about the 1982 Lincoln penny. This year was a major turning point for the United States Mint and for coin collectors all around the world, because 1982 was the year when the composition of the Lincoln penny changed. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, but due to rising copper prices the Mint decided to switch the composition to a cheaper metal. So in 1982 the Mint introduced a new penny made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper coating. This means that during 1982 two different types of Lincoln cents were produced, one made of copper and one made of zinc. Both coins look almost identical, but they are actually very different in weight. The copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams while the zinc penny weighs only about 2.5 grams. So if you have a 1982 penny at home, you can use a simple digital scale to find out which type you have. The difference in weight can mean the difference between a regular penny and a small fortune. Now let's talk about the design of the 1982 Lincoln penny. The obverse or front side of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has been used since 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Above his head you can see the word Liberty, and to the right the date 1982. Depending on the mint mark you might see a small D for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia. On the reverse side of the coin you'll find the Lincoln Memorial with the words United States of America e pluribus unum and 1 cent. But what really makes the 1982 Lincoln penny so special is the fact that it comes in several different varieties that collectors are always hunting for. There are 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. These include the 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 large date zinc, and then the same variations for the Denver Mint coins as well. That makes a total of 7 varieties in all. One of the most valuable and rarest of all is the 1982 D small date copper penny. This coin is considered a major modern rarity because according to the United States Mint, no 1982 D pennies were supposed to be struck in copper, but somehow a few copper planchets were left over from earlier production and accidentally struck with 1982 D dies. This incredible mint error resulted in one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever known. Now how can you tell if your 1982 penny is the valuable one? First, check for the small date variety. You can do this by looking at the shape of the numbers in the date, especially the 2 in 1982. On the small date version the 2 curves softly and sits higher than the 8, and on the large date version the 2 looks thicker and the top of the 8 and 2 are almost level. If you find a small date with a D mint mark and it weighs 3.11 grams, you might just be holding a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars in terms of market value. Let's look at some amazing examples. In 2016 one collector discovered a genuine 1982 D small date copper penny, and it was later certified by the professional coin grading service PCGS. This rare coin sold for an incredible sum of $60,999 in the market, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever struck in the modern era. Even the regular 1982 copper pennies and zinc pennies can be worth more than face value if they are in uncirculated or proof condition, depending on their mint state. Grade coins in pristine condition with no scratches, marks or wear can fetch anywhere from a few dollars up to hundreds depending on rarity and demand. Collectors love finding coins with perfect mint luster and sharp details, especially those from transitional years like 1982. So if you have a 1982 penny, make sure to weigh it carefully and look at it closely. Check for the small date or large date variety and always check the mint mark, because those little differences can make a huge impact on the coin's value. And if you find one that weighs more than 3 grams and has the D mint mark, you might just have one of the rarest pennies in history worth thousands of dollars. It's fascinating to think how a small 1-cent coin that most people ignore could actually be worth a fortune today. The 1982 Lincoln penny is a perfect reminder of how important it is to pay attention to details when collecting coins. It's one of those transitional years that produced multiple variations, mistakes and errors that now attract coin enthusiasts and collectors from around the world. So take a closer look at your change jars, your old coin rolls, or even your piggy bank. You never know what treasures might be hiding there. The next valuable coin could be sitting right in your hands. The 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny is not just a piece of metal, it's a piece of American history that tells a story of change, adaptation, and rarity. And for those lucky enough to find the right one, it could mean turning a single penny into more than $60,000. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another coin value update. Stay tuned for more fascinating coin stories, and remember, always check your change, because even a penny could make you rich one day.